can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know.
What a perfect way to start your day. I'm down here in the dock at the pond saying good morning to Ramona, enjoying my coffee. I could sit here all day, but I really wouldn't get much accomplished in the garden sitting down here enjoying the view. My name is Bonnie. This is Artist in a Garden. Let's go for a tour and I'll give you an update on how things are growing this season in my garden.
Hello, Ramona. I mistook you for a dream. The engine glows, and I guess you always seem to know. Hello, Ramona. I push back the serious feeling, the end's unknown, to get back the life I used to know. I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know. We're all in this. I stand alone. Show me where the ending goes. Honestly don't. I should be the last to know.
Well, let's start here with the tomatoes. The tomatoes seem to be doing the best in the garden this season, which they normally do. Tomatoes are one of the easiest vegetables to grow, or fruit if you prefer to call tomato a fruit. I started a bunch of spoon tomatoes as well as I think they were yellow currant tomatoes, and I have them here planted on my trellis, and as you can see they're pretty much at eye level. So these are the yellow currant tomatoes, prolifically filled with fruit. Lots of fruit on these tomatoes, just waiting for some of them to start to ripen. And over on this side are the spoon tomatoes. Very prolific as well. Tons of spoon tomatoes starting to bud up and form on these plants, just waiting for them to ripen. Well, guys, on this side of the cattle panel trellises, I have a few of the beefsteak tomato vines. So I started with the tiniest tomatoes I could grow, which are the spoon tomatoes, and then some of the currant tomatoes. And then on this trellis, we have the large, just your classic beefsteak tomato. And I'm happy to report that I actually have my first little beefsteak tomatoes starting to grow. Well, this garden bed behind me has my garlic and my onions planted in it, as well as volunteer tomatoes from tomatoes that were planted in here last year. So they are going to be some kind of Roma or San Marzano tomatoes. I'm just waiting for the garlic to finish off, which should be happening here in the next week or so. I'm going to cut the scapes off, and we will be harvesting garlic very soon. Once I pull out the garlic from this bed, I will be moving those volunteer tomatoes that I had over into that space. Still waiting for some of the onions to neck up a little bit more, but they are coming along really well. Over here with the little windmill garden where I planted the strawberries, they have filled in really well. We've got lots of blooms and blossoms on them, as well as lots of strawberries starting to fill up, waiting for a few more to ripen, and we can start harvesting and picking some more strawberries. They are doing great. On the other front trellis in the garden, this is where my cucumbers are planted this year to grow, and they are so far behind this year, I think because of the cold temperatures we've been having. Our nighttime temperatures have still been dropping down to 10 to 12 degrees at night, and it is really slowing down my cucumbers this year. The other trellis is where I have the Malabar spinach, and again, it needs the heat. So hopefully this week we have a bit more heat coming in, and the Malabar spinach will really start to take off and catch up to maybe the red scarlet runner bean, but I don't think so. The cucumbers are definitely behind. They're still really, really tiny. No sign of any flowering or fruit yet. In between these trellises this year, I decided to go simple with just some flowers. I've got Bennery's giant zinnias in here, as well as red spike amaranth, just to give an extra contrast and color in here. And I'm loving the way that it is really starting to fill in and help control some of the weeds in the garden. Well guys, just a quick little update for you today to show you the progress and how things are all doing. The tomatoes are happy and doing really well. I'm excited to see lots of fruit on those, just waiting for some to ripen. My cucumbers are way behind this season. We definitely need this warm weather to give them a boost. And the strawberries, they are starting to grow some fruit. My cucamelons, I have one cucamelon left. I think a chipmunk got in there and ate off most of the cucamelon seed starts that I had planted in the garden. But don't fear, I have a whole tray of cucamelons restarted in the greenhouse, just waiting for some size on those to get them out in the garden and get them caught up for the season as well. I really enjoyed the cucamelons on this windmill trellis last year. So we're gonna get some of those out in the garden really soon, as well as sunflowers. Again, started those in the greenhouse. They are tucked away until they've got a little more growth on them, so that when I move them out in the garden, the squirrels and chipmunks don't eat my seedlings. Anybody else have issues with chipmunks and squirrels eating their seedlings? Anyways, it's part of the everyday out here in the garden. My name is Bonnie. This is Artist in a Garden. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.